Morning, Neil.
Hiya.
How's the week been? I know you expressed some disappointment about your last result, but how's this week been?
Well, they worked hard enough. You know, they had. I can't fault the effort. I mean, that's one thing I can't fault. We've talked about the late goals, etc. Now we can remedy that, and hopefully we can. You know, we've got to learn as quickly as possible. You know, I think we've thrown 9 points away now in the last few weeks. So. But it does. I'd rather them do it now, if I'm honest, where we can actually look to solve the problem. And now, you know, we've got a tough game with Ipswich, but then international break. They'll have a few days off, so it's they've got a chance to recuperate. A lot of them.
Is it inevitable? There's a bit of a drop off in that intensity now that there's that gap between you and the relegation.
Yeah, I don't think there's a drop of intensity. I thought we played quite well at times. I thought we played a lot of good football in areas. It's always difficult playing against that system, and Ipswich played a similar system tomorrow, so I don't expect it to be a great game, if I'm honest. But we've got to come up with different scenarios. So, you've got to have plan Bs for that sort of system, which we're going to, we're trying tomorrow as well. We're going to have to look at the way they set the play up and see how we can cope with that.
How are you looking for the weekend in terms of availability?
Well, we'll have a starting 11. And then we are a bit thin on the ground. Like I said, we've had another one or two disappointments this week as well. I would imagine with Hughes at Ipswich, they'll know what our team is before we kick off. But in my case, I'm not sure what my team is, so they'll do well.
So a few more players you've lost this week then?
Yeah, a couple of doubtful, for tomorrow. So, but like I said, Manga trained well, yes. I'm hoping if he could train, might be able to go on the bench, I hope. But I'm not sure. I'll do that today. We'll probably involve him in the game today.
And that's obviously amazing. A player, one, you may not have expected to still be at the club, and two, you almost certainly wouldn't have expected to recover.
No, I mean, they told us when we initially saw him, they said that he would be out 6 months. That would finish his season, and and then when we looked at him, we said we didn't think it was as bad. We had our own scan. The scan they sent over by whatever, I don't know how they sent it, but it didn't look very, you couldn't really tell much on it. But our scan showed certain things, and he's worked hard at rehabilitation, really, and all credit to the medical department to get him back quick.
And Ken Zahor, is he available? You obviously there was an issue with was he?
Yeah, he's a little bit, he's more tired than anything. We just got to be careful with him muscle-wise, at this stage.
Will you be keeping him here during the international break?
No, he's been called up for the under-21s. So he flies. I think he flies straight off after the game, or definitely Sunday. But I'm going to try and have a chat with them, if I'm honest, because the minutes he's done over the last 2 months is phenomenal, really, for a big lad like him.
You're a bit of a victim of your own success.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are really. I do feel a bit sorry for him.
We were talking just before, and I think I'm 35. I think you probably know Mick McCarthy longer than I've been alive.
Yes, you could say that. I was when I met him, I was about 25, so about 42 or 3 years ago. He was a couple of years younger than me as an apprentice at Barnsley when I was playing there. He was as big as he was now then in them days. He was the biggest 16-year-old. I think he was shaving at 12. He's just a tough nut, but a great guy. And he's like me. We've had ups and downs in his careers, but sometimes we've been at clubs and it's been. Yeah, I've always said, be careful what you wish for fans. And Mick's, been like that a couple of occasions and always come through it. And a lot of time for him.
He must have had some great battles.
Yeah, we have had some good ones over the years. Yeah.
Because the two of you are kind of synonymous with not just the Championship, but English football, the Football League, and He's got a bit to do yet to catch me up. Yeah,
he's only a young pup.
Any memories that kind of stick out for you with?
Not really. Only him cleaning my boots after training. That's about the only memory. I bring you that up every time I see him.
I bet he enjoys that. I mean, he's been facing people this week talking about, is his future under scrutiny, and he kind of reacted in a similar way to you, to saying, well, I'm a bit past worrying too much about that.
No, he's like Wenger, isn't he? I think, fans have had a go at him over the last 12 months at regular times, really, and He's like me, really. I don't think we don't worry about the sack, because you look round at them, and he'll get a job in the next few weeks if he left tomorrow, and so would I. So we don't. I think as you get to our age, it's not that the Championship shown this week. 14 managers sacked this season. I mean, dear me, how can you talk about building a project? You've just got to hope that you can do well and have a good season next year. We're looking to try and be at the other end of the table, but nothing's guaranteed. We could be at the bottom end and get the sack by Christmas. You just don't know in this game, and that's why we've got to enjoy every minute. You enjoy it more, I think, as you get older, because you don't feel the pressure as much. Young managers now, they've got 2 or 3 games, not 2 or 3 years. It's frightening, really, for up and coming managers.
What do you think? Do you think it's the money?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. Especially the Championship. I mean, the rewards. I think last time I was there, it was 100 million, but I think it's a lot more than that now. It just builds the club, and all the foreign owners really have come in to try and get this Premiership, the carrot at the Premiership, because it is the biggest league in the world financially, and there's some good clubs. But you see the clubs coming down. The parachute payments they get now will be phenomenal, but I don't think that worries teams like Cardiff, because I think we're building now and got bricks in place, really. We're looking for the icing on the cake in certain areas, which is better than starting from scratch. Because a lot of clubs coming down, although they've got the money, they lose 2 or 3 of the better players, because players want to stay in the Premiership. So it's not plain sailing all the time.
I guess it's one of them that with the demands now on managers, as you say, that you've just got to kind of keep focus on your own club. Steve McLaren this week would emphasise the kind of crazy nature of the game.
Well, everything, I mean, I was misquoted a bit when I said something about Warren Joyce leaving, but what I said is it's such a difficult league to come into it with no experience in the Championship. I wasn't having to dig at Warren. I think Warren's a lovely bloke, and I think one of the media picks it up that I was slating Warren Joyce, which I wasn't. It's just such a tough league, and you've got to have a bit of luck as well, and you've got to have the right backing. I feel very comfortable where I am with Vincent and Mehmet alongside Ken Chu. I just feel very comfortable, and it's nice for me to know that they trust me, because I'm looking after their club, and I think they've shown that by they let me just get on with it, and for me that's very special. That.
Do you think it's difficult to quantify uniqueness, but do you think there's an element of that with the Championship that is just kind of different to any other division, with the fact that there's the biggest prize in world football to get out of it?
Yeah, and I think a lot of clubs spend a lot of money, and I think because they spend a lot of money, they take it for granted that that's going to, I look at Villa at the start of the season, 50 odd million pounds. And then they let go of the manager in November or October, whatever it was. I can't remember when it was. It's not a matter of spending money and you'll get success, because if it was, the top clubs would always do it, wouldn't they? It's such a league that the bottom can always beat the top of the league any day of the week, and you can't step away from that. You've got to hope that you can build. If you're not one of the top earners, like some of the top wages, like the lads coming down from the Premiership, then you've got to have something different. You've got to have a great dressing room with fabulous spirit, and know that when the chips are down, your lads will come through. And that's the difference. You need that dressing room in the Championship.
Just finally from me, you told us last week you were hoping to meet with the finance director on Monday. Yeah. Just wondered if you did and how it went.
Yeah, it was a good meeting. Yeah, and they've gone away. We all had our figures of what I want to bring in, and rough approximate wages, etc. What I need to clear, and they've gone away to try and give me a fuller picture. Philip says the financial director, it'll probably be about a week, 10 days, but they're going to come back, and then we're going to have another meeting and decide, as and when, how we can get started, really, as quickly as possible if we can.